I keep trying to address them and they're not getting better.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand you, yeah, but it's just a little a little difficult. So, uh, where are we? So right now we need to approve the agenda, is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then let's vote on that. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right. Motion carries. Next thing is continue the discussion and vote on recommending to the full council the Public Records Toolkit legislative concepts.
Yes. So let me post the link for the updated concepts.
I just did it.
So the updates that I made to concept 2 was just to add in the safety valve provision being a trigger, as we discussed in one of the previous meetings, because I realized that that wasn't actually written in there. And then for number 3, I had a couple of conversations with the Secretary of State's office and with the IT folks with Enterprise, and just kind of based on their feedback and the information that we got from ORMS in a previous meeting, I just kind of felt like tying it to ORMS specifically might not allow for, the best concept for us to move forward. The Secretary of State is dealing right now with a mandate to update its ORSTAR system. So they have a lot of kind of money and time tied up in that work. So pivoting to also updating ORMS, maybe it's similar work because it's all in government transparency, right? But I just felt like if there's other things that are happening in other parts of the government that would make more sense, um, the legislature can decide how they want to achieve this concept. So I kind of I took out the references to ORMS, and just kind of said, let's just kind of do this in whatever way makes the most sense. So I talked with so let me get his name. Michael Hanna Boutros Meyering. He's working with the new kind of AI effort at the governor's office. He's come over from Nevada and has worked on concepts there that have been successful in reducing duplicative spend. So basically kind of like the thing that we've been talking about, which is that every single agency has to go out and figure out how they're going to solve this problem of providing public records. And instead, what if the state of Oregon said, hey, we're going to, create this open concept through ORMS that you guys can all buy licenses to, or we're going to negotiate a contract on behalf of Oregon for 500 licenses, and then people can get a better rate for those from GovQA or whoever it is. So basically the concept is just to, kind of make it easier for all of our agencies to have the same system. And I wanted to, can I share this window? So this was part of our 2025 Public Records Body survey. And this is just the graph that Google data, created from the survey responses. But to me, this is just a picture of why this solution is needed. This is, out of the 64 responses, like most people are just kind of using a spreadsheet, and there's a billion different ways that people are tracking records requests, including that purple one. We don't. We don't track records requests. So, so having a streamlined system just kind of seems to make sense for, both improving government transparency um, and improving the ability of public records, responders, providers to like be able to kind of move back and forth through different agencies and understand the systems. So that's kind of the justification for that one.
Can I
Yeah.
add
Any
something?
questions?
Yesterday I spoke with the League of Oregon Cities and Charlie something, and then the Association of Oregon Counties, Tim Dooley, about the mutual aid concept. Both of them said things that are not surprising to any of us, which is that logistically it would be really difficult to roll out. It'd be really difficult to have somebody get caught up on people's systems. I mean, I think the pie graph you showed kind of shows why it would be difficult for somebody to just be dropped into another agency and be able to work their system. And it's a little different with things like emergency managers, which is the example I brought up before, which is a little bit more plug and play is what they called it. But they appreciated the idea of it, I think. But I did talk to them about this IT solution, having like a thing that we can all use. And Tim Dooley especially was very open to that idea and very supportive of that idea. So I think it'd be
Awesome.
I think it'd be something that a lot of people can get behind.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I don't know if we want to vote on each one of these concepts separately, or I mean, I think that that's the best way to go about it, just so that we have the maximum flexibility. And then that would be to the full council approval on or discussion on September 2nd.
I think voting individually on them makes sense. And I guess there weren't any changes to the grant program concept, right?
Yeah, not that I could think of.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, then I make a motion to forward onto the council the Public Records Capacity Grant Program. I think Todd mutely seconded the motion.
Wait.
There you go.
Can you type it just so we know
Yeah.
that that's what you said? Thank you for that, Todd. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Moving on to the second one.
I make a motion to forward onto the full council the Public Records Mutual Aids and Surge Support Program.
Got a second from Todd. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And motion carries. And then we have the third concept, statewide public records technology collaborative.
I make a motion to forward on the statewide Public Records Technology Collaborative to the full council for a vote.
Todd seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we got an aye from Todd, I believe, and he's typing. I think that's an aye from him. That's an aye. Okay. Okay. Motion carries. Okay, we're good. Anything? I mean, do we move on now to the next agenda item? Is there another agenda item? I lost my
The
page.
next one is public commentary.
Okay, if we're ready to move on to that, we will, Joe, would go ahead and you got the floor.
Thank you. I'm somewhat concerned with the latest AI attacks from OpenAI, Meta, and Google. I know that, I mean, I understand that there are far more sophisticated individuals out there dealing with AI, but I think that there should be some type of provision written in dealing with the development of AI assistant tools and how open it's actually going to be. If it's going to be for what I would call character identification, you know, like if you have specific classifications of subject matter. If you have small cities that are under 1,200 and they all use the same type of genre of subject matter, are they in one little group? You know, and this goes back to the 500 classification, you know, the 500 purchase license. I mean, how are you going to stop the attack? I mean, that's the bottom question here. I mean, is Oregon going to develop its own specific AI program, or are we going to rely on Anthrop, Meta, Google, OpenAI, or whoever else is at the front runner of developing this program? That's, I mean, I'm concerned about that. You know, we're talking government records now. And that's basically all I have to question about. Thank you.
Can I ask for clarification? Because I'm not sure what that means. Like, are you saying that it would be better for Oregon to develop its own public system rather than relying on private licenses for private tech?
In all honesty, I think it would be better, because if you've read the newspapers or any articles dealing with the attacks,
Can you clarify what you mean by attacks?
where where a specific AI program has literally went out and attacked another AI program.
Oh,
I can supply Todd with hyperlinks to email addresses or email web addresses. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time talking today and getting my words. Newspaper articles dealing with these open attacks from one AI program to another. Anthrop was the first one to disclose back in late July that there was another attack, that they attacked another AI program underneath strategic testing.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think Oregon should buy into the one size fits all because a major company has developed this technology.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
mean, so I'll get these links off to you, Todd, okay? All right. Thank you.
Can I add to the discussion? That'd be okay. So I just got back from coding boot camp, and they have internal LLMs that you can download where it would just be in your computer, so that whatever you use that LLM for wouldn't be shared with an outside source. And then there's other like closed systems that like Claude uses, that Claude has, that like hospitals are using and lawyers are using. I think there are options for closed systems where you're not sharing the information that you put in with like outside sources, and you don't give them, control of your internal systems. But I'm not a cybersecurity expert. We do have cybersecurity experts at the Department of Administrative Services. So I think if anything, we could rope them into the conversation to talk about how to safely involve AI so that it doesn't leave, our public record system vulnerable to any sort of attack. Because I do think it's a valid concern, considering it's a very powerful thing, and it's gotten so powerful that it's starting to, mess up our systems. It's so powerful that even the makers are concerned about it. So, yeah, I think it's a valid point, but I think it's also something that we can talk about with people who are smart about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I just shared a link in the chat to Oregon's artificial intelligence responsible usage policy. So that's the folks that I was talking to about this. So Nick Blosser and Michael, whose last name I don't remember, they are part of that. So I definitely do see the need to, like, incorporate whatever it is they're doing with what we're doing and what we're doing with what they're doing. Making sure that, as we go into this brave new world, both, AI users in government are thinking about how that impacts government transparency and records provision, and also, how providing public records can also not expose not public records to, potential attack or exposure. I'm going to read this out loud so that it's captured on recording. Todd says, any public body would have to use any software system envisioned in compliance with their own policies on AI. For instance, the state currently does not permit the input of confidential or proprietary info, I assume, into AI. Also, the state's chief privacy and communications officer is in the meeting. Great, welcome.
Very cool. Well, anything else to discuss on the matter? Is there anybody else who would like to speak during the public comment period? Yes, Michael?
Hi.
Hi, it's you.
Sorry, I was double booking myself, but I'm like, man, I really want to join this meeting, and I wanted to just introduce myself.
Welcome.
And thank you. Yeah, so I had a conversation with Shasta earlier. So thank you for giving me a little bit more context. I'm still learning what the problems that we're trying to solve together. So happy, just wanted to reach out and just extend my contacts, and hopefully I'm useful, and so I could supplement anything I can with this effort. So that's it.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for introducing yourself and joining our meeting. All right, anybody else? All right, closing the public comment period. Now we'll talk about next meeting dates.
Yeah, so I popped into the Oregon Sunshine Committee's last meeting, and they were talking about their legislative concepts that they're going to propose. And they invited us to the September 16th meeting. So I'm going to try to attend that one in person. And I guess, so their charge, for those who don't know, the Oregon Sunshine Committee is supposed to go through the 550, although I think now it's 700 exemptions in public records law, and see if those can be pared down at all or combined or whatever, to just make the public records law a little easier to understand for everybody, and fairer. So they are working on that. so most of I think their concepts are related to exemptions, but we were also talking about the open government impact statements, and a way to get them more usable. If it could like spit out an email whenever like a positive one comes up, because right now it's in OLIS that you can kind of sort them by which bills have an open government impact statement. That's like, yes, it has an impact, but the vast majority of bills don't. And there's no way for interested parties to like, get it and get notified if there's one that pops up that it is an impact. So I don't know what that looks like right now, or really if it even needs a bill, but that's kind of what we were discussing at the last meeting. So probably we would discuss it again, and then maybe something to come back to this body to discuss as well.
Appreciate you. Yeah, keeping up with that. Cool. And are we, so we're not going to meet until after the next meeting, right? And we probably, so when would that be? Like late September or the following month?
So yeah, late September, early October would probably be good.
Yeah,
We may not need to meet if we want to just like, so this body was to develop concepts for the full council. So
Mhm.
if we're already kind of developing those with the Sunshine Committee, we could just go to directly to the council. It would need to be before, I think December is the next filing deadline. So we could discuss the concept at the next full council meeting. I got a BRB, my son needs.
So, okay, so it kind of just, it depends. Okay, depends on how they decide to handle it. Okay, so we may not need to meet. Maybe let's wait or maybe we should get a meeting on the books just in case and then cancel it. I mean, just because it's so hard to schedule things with folks, it seems like just having a spot saved in case we need to come back to do something. Well, council meeting's not that far off to regroup then. Okay. Okay, so what you're saying is we don't need to schedule anything. Let's just wait until the next full council meeting. We'll decide then. Okay. Shasta? Hello.
Hi. Sorry.
Yeah, so we were saying we can just go to the next meeting, the next full council meeting, and decide if we need to meet again at that point.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. Cool. Well, thanks everybody, and I'll see you at the next meeting.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye.